Have you ever found yourself feeling emotionally drained after spending time with someone you once cared about deeply? Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or even a close partner. At first, things may seem normal, but over time, the relationship starts to take a toll on your peace, your happiness, and even your mental health. Toxic relationships can be subtle at first, but the effects they have on your well-being are profound. Toxic relationships aren't just about conflicts or misunderstandings. They're about patterns of behavior that constantly leave you feeling worse instead of better. The people we allow into our lives have a massive influence on our state of mind. If someone consistently brings negativity, stress, or emotional chaos into your life, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a threat to your personal peace. We all know how valuable peace of mind is. It's what allows us to live our lives fully, without unnecessary stress or emotional burdens. But when someone disrupts that peace, whether through manipulation, constant drama, or disrespect, it slowly chips away at your happiness. And sometimes, the hardest relationships to recognize as toxic are those closest to us. We tell ourselves, but they're family, or we've been friends for years. However, longevity doesn't equal health. Just because someone has been a part of your life for a long time doesn't mean they deserve to stay if they're causing harm. So why is it so important to distance yourself from these relationships? It's not about abandonment. It's about self-preservation. When you distance yourself from toxicity, you're making a conscious choice to prioritize your emotional and mental well-being. You're choosing growth, peace, and freedom from emotional burdens that were never yours to carry. The idea of distancing ourselves can feel difficult, especially when it involves those we care about. However, it's important to understand that protecting your peace is not selfish. It's essential. Distancing yourself from toxic relationships doesn't mean you don't love or care for the person. It simply means you love yourself enough to no longer allow their behavior to diminish your well-being. Sometimes the greatest act of self-love is letting go. And here's the truth. By letting go of toxic individuals, you're not just protecting your peace. You're making space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Relationships that inspire you, uplift you, and support your growth. It's time to ask yourself, am I surrounding myself with people who add to my happiness or take away from it? Before we dive into the signs that will help you identify whether you need to distance yourself from someone in your life, take a moment to consider your own relationships. Reflect on the people around you. Are they contributing to your joy or causing you constant emotional distress? Now, if you find value in what you're about to hear, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more insights that will help you live a happier, healthier life. Let's protect our peace together. Now let's dive into the first sign that it's time to create some distance. Sign 1. They don't respect your emotions. One of the first and most critical signs that a relationship has become toxic is when the other person fails to respect your emotions. Think about it. Every healthy relationship is built on mutual understanding and emotional support. When someone consistently dismisses your feelings, ignores your concerns, or makes you feel like your emotions are not valid, it's a huge red flag. In such a relationship, you may often find yourself wondering if your feelings even matter. Toxic individuals tend to downplay what you're going through or act as though their emotions are always more important. For example, you might bring up something that's bothering you, only for them to brush it aside with comments like, "Oh, that's not a big deal," or "You're overreacting." Over time, this creates a pattern where you feel unheard, invalidated, and emotionally neglected. It's as though your emotions are constantly being swept under the rug. What's even more damaging is when toxic people make you feel guilty for expressing your emotions. You might hear things like, "You're too sensitive," or "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" Slowly, you start to question yourself, wondering if maybe you are overreacting, when in reality, your feelings are perfectly justified. Respecting someone's emotions is a fundamental aspect of any relationship, whether it's with family, friends, or partners. A person who genuinely cares about you will take the time to listen, understand, and validate how you feel. They won't make you feel small or irrational for expressing what's on your mind. So when someone consistently dismisses your feelings, it's not just hurtful, it's toxic. You deserve to be in relationships where your emotions are respected. It's not about being overly sensitive, it's about being valued as a person. No one should make you feel like your emotions are too much or not worth their time. If someone makes you feel that way, it's time to seriously consider whether that relationship is worth keeping. Distancing yourself from someone who constantly dismisses your feelings is not just an option, it's necessary for your emotional health. By setting boundaries or cutting ties, you protect yourself from emotional manipulation and reclaim your right to be heard and understood. Surround yourself with people who care about your feelings and who make you feel valued, not belittled. Remember, your emotions are valid, and anyone who doesn't respect that doesn't deserve to be part of your life. Don't let anyone convince you that your feelings don't matter, because they absolutely do. Sign 2. Constant conflicts and drama. Another major red flag that signals it's time to distance yourself from someone is when they seem to thrive on constant conflict and drama. If you notice that every interaction with this person somehow turns into an argument or emotional chaos, it's a clear sign that something is wrong. Healthy relationships are meant to bring peace, not endless strife. Toxic individuals often have a tendency to create or escalate conflict. They might start arguments over small, insignificant things, but the conflict quickly spirals into something bigger. You may even feel like you're always walking on eggshells, never sure when the next outburst or disagreement will come. These people seem to feed off the tension they create, using it as a way to control the dynamics of the relationship. Worse yet, these individuals often pull others into their conflicts, expecting you to take sides. They may pit you against mutual friends or family members, dragging you into their personal battles. This creates an environment of constant stress, where you're forced to choose sides and get involved in drama that has nothing to do with you. Being around someone who is always involved in drama is emotionally exhausting. Their inability to handle situations calmly or resolve conflicts without creating more problems can take a serious toll on your mental health. Over time, this can drain your energy and rob you of the peace you need to live a fulfilling life. It's important to understand that not every conflict needs to be fought, and not every issue is worth the emotional energy it demands. Wise individuals know when to walk away from unnecessary drama and focus on what truly matters. If you find yourself caught in a cycle of conflict with someone who thrives on drama, it's a strong indication that the relationship is toxic. You deserve to surround yourself with people who bring calmness and positivity into your life, not chaos and stress. Distancing yourself from someone who constantly engages in arguments allows you to protect your emotional well-being and reclaim your peace of mind. It's not about winning battles, It's about refusing to engage in them in the first place. Sign 3. They take advantage of you financially. One of the more subtle but deeply damaging ways toxic individuals can exploit you is through financial imbalance. In any healthy relationship, whether it's with friends, family, or a partner, there should be a sense of fairness and mutual respect, especially when it comes to finances. However, toxic people often manipulate this balance, taking advantage of your generosity without giving anything in return. Have you ever had a friend or family member who always seems to be in financial trouble whenever you're together? They constantly claim they can't afford to do things, yet you see them spending money on themselves or living a lifestyle that doesn't match their claims of being broke. But when it's time to meet up with you, suddenly the wallet closes and the expectation is that you'll cover the bill. This behavior isn't about someone genuinely struggling financially. It's about manipulation and control. Toxic people know how to use your kindness against you, pushing you to always be the one who pays, contributes, or sacrifices. They might even guilt trip you by saying things like, "You're better off financially than me," or "You know I'm struggling right now," even when it's clear that they are more than capable of supporting themselves. Over time, this creates a one-sided dynamic where you feel used and taken for granted. Every time you meet, you're the one covering the cost, whether it's dinner, an outing, or even a personal favor. This imbalance builds resentment, leaving you frustrated and exhausted from constantly being the one who gives while the other person takes. It's important to understand that in any healthy relationship, both parties should contribute in their own way. It's not about splitting bills down to the last cent, but about ensuring that there's a mutual sense of fairness. If someone repeatedly expects you to provide for them without offering anything in return, it's a clear sign that they're taking advantage of your generosity. Financial manipulation is often a subtle form of control that toxic individuals use to maintain power in the relationship. By making you feel obligated to always cover their expenses, they can keep you in a position of giving without ever having to reciprocate. This dynamic drains both your resources and your emotional well-being. To protect yourself, it's crucial to set clear financial boundaries with people who exhibit this behavior. Let them know what you're willing and not willing to do. If they respect you, they'll understand. But if they push back or try to guilt trip you, it's a sign that the relationship was never about mutual respect in the first place. Distancing yourself from people who exploit you financially is essential for maintaining both your peace of mind and your financial well-being. You deserve relationships where your contributions are appreciated and reciprocated, not taken for granted. Sign 4. They force their beliefs on you. Another clear sign that it's time to distance yourself from someone is when they consistently try to force their beliefs on you, whether those beliefs are religious, political, or even personal. In a healthy relationship, people respect each other's differences. We all have unique perspectives, and part of maintaining a positive connection is being able to coexist peacefully, even when we don't see eye to eye. However, toxic individuals often push their views onto others, expecting you to adopt their beliefs without question. It can be exhausting to deal with someone who constantly engages in debates, trying to convince you that their way of thinking is the only right way. These individuals might argue that their religion is the only valid one, their political opinions are the only logical choice, or their personal values are superior to yours. Over time, this behavior creates tension, resentment, and conflict. What's worse is that toxic people who force their beliefs on others are often unwilling to accept differing viewpoints. They may refuse to acknowledge that other perspectives are valid, insisting that you must agree with them. This rigid black and white thinking makes any meaningful discussion impossible, as they are not interested in a true exchange of ideas, but only in getting you to conform to their beliefs. When someone tries to impose their views on you, it's not just a sign of disrespect, it's also a form of control. They are trying to mold you into what they believe you should be, without regard for your individuality or personal freedom. This kind of behavior can be emotionally suffocating, making you feel like you can't express your own thoughts or live your life according to your values. It's essential to recognize that you are not obligated to share the same beliefs as anyone, even those closest to you. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, where both parties accept each other's differences and allow space for individuality. If someone in your life is constantly pressuring you to adopt their views, it may be time to step back and protect your peace. Distancing yourself from someone who forces their beliefs on you is not about avoiding meaningful conversations or debates. It's about ensuring that your right to think independently is respected. By creating distance, you allow yourself to live authentically, free from the pressure to conform to someone else's expectations. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are, not those who try to change you into what they want you to be. Your peace of mind and personal freedom are far too valuable to sacrifice in order to make someone else feel comfortable in their beliefs. Sign 5. You feel drained after spending time with them. One of the clearest signs that a relationship has become toxic is when you consistently feel emotionally and mentally drained after spending time with someone. Relationships are supposed to be uplifting, offering support, joy, and a sense of connection. However, if after every interaction with a particular person you feel exhausted, stressed, or anxious, it's a strong indication that the relationship is no longer healthy. Toxic individuals have a way of sapping your energy. They might constantly complain, dominate the conversation, or bring negativity into every interaction. Over time, this can leave you feeling mentally fatigued and emotionally depleted. The time you spend with them becomes less about enjoying each other's company and more about enduring their presence. It's not just about 1 or 2 bad days. Everyone goes through tough times, and supporting someone in moments of hardship is part of any healthy relationship. But when it becomes a pattern, when every meeting leaves you feeling worse than before, it's time to take notice. You might find that what used to be a pleasant connection has turned into an emotional burden. These draining interactions often occur because toxic people don't consider how their behavior affects others. They may unload all their problems on you without any regard for how it impacts your emotional state, or they may consistently demand attention and support without offering anything in return. This creates an imbalanced dynamic where you give more than you receive, leaving you feeling unappreciated and exhausted. If you regularly feel emotionally drained after interacting with someone, it's important to ask yourself why. Are they contributing positively to your life, or are they constantly taking from you without offering any real support in return? Your time and energy are valuable, and they shouldn't be wasted on relationships that leave you feeling worse than before. It's okay to prioritize your emotional well-being and step back from relationships that drain you. Distancing yourself from toxic individuals doesn't mean you don't care about them. It simply means you care about yourself enough to protect your peace. By creating that space, You can reclaim your energy and focus on relationships that bring positivity and fulfillment into your life. Remember, the people you spend time with should uplift you, not deplete you. It's not selfish to distance yourself from those who drain your energy. It's necessary for your mental and emotional health. Sign 6. They constantly complain about their lives. We all have moments in life when we need to vent or share our frustrations with a friend or loved one. It's a natural part of relationships to support each other during tough times. However, there is a significant difference between occasionally venting and someone who turns every conversation into a litany of complaints about their life. If you have someone in your life who never seems to have anything positive to say and constantly complains about their problems without making any effort to change them, it's a sign that the relationship is becoming toxic. Toxic individuals often use others as emotional dumping grounds. Every time you interact with them, the conversation quickly shifts to their endless list of grievances. They complain about work, relationships, their health, or any number of other things. Yet, despite receiving advice or support from you, they never take any steps to improve their situation. Instead, they continue to complain, creating a cycle of negativity that can wear you down over time. What's particularly draining about this behavior is that it leaves no room for you. These individuals dominate the conversation with their problems, giving you little opportunity to share your own thoughts, feelings, or experiences. Their focus is entirely on themselves, with no consideration for how their constant negativity affects you. Moreover, their persistent complaining can begin to impact your own mood. Being around someone who always sees the negative side of things can make it harder for you to maintain a positive outlook on life. Over time, their negativity can start to seep into your own mindset, leaving you feeling drained, frustrated, and emotionally exhausted. It's important to recognize that while it's okay to support friends and loved ones in their struggles, it's not your responsibility to be their constant emotional crutch, especially when they're unwilling to change their situation. If someone continuously brings their problems to you without ever seeking solutions or trying to improve their life, it might be time to reconsider the relationship. Setting boundaries with people who constantly complain is essential for protecting your peace. You can offer support when it's needed, but it's not your job to absorb all of their negativity. If someone is unwilling to respect your emotional space or acknowledge the toll their complaints are taking on you, it may be best to distance yourself from the relationship. Remember, your emotional health matters, and being around someone who constantly brings you down can be harmful in the long run. Choose relationships that inspire and uplift you rather than those that drag you into a cycle of negativity. Sign 7. They never keep their promises. Trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, and one of the quickest ways to break that trust is by failing to keep promises. In a healthy relationship, people value each other's time, energy, and feelings by fulfilling commitments. However, when someone consistently breaks their promises, cancels plans, or takes their commitments lightly, it's a strong sign that the relationship may be toxic. We've all had moments where we need to cancel plans or reschedule something due to unforeseen circumstances. That's normal and completely understandable. But when it becomes a pattern, when someone repeatedly fails to follow through on their word, it signals a deeper problem. Toxic individuals often don't think about the impact their broken promises have on others. They may promise to help with something, agree to plans, or assure you they'll be there for you, only to flake out time and time again without a second thought. This behavior can leave you feeling frustrated, undervalued, and disrespected. You might find yourself waiting for someone who never shows up, or making plans around their commitments, only to have them fall through at the last minute. Over time, this erodes trust, which is essential for any strong relationship. Broken promises also send a clear message. The person doesn't value your time or effort as much as their own. Whether it's showing up for an important event, supporting you during a tough time, or simply sticking to what they said they'd do, their inability to honor commitments is a reflection of how little they prioritize you and the relationship. Toxic individuals often lack accountability and might even make excuses or shift blame when confronted about their broken promises. They may say things like, "I forgot," "I had something come up," or "You're overreacting," without any real acknowledgement of how their actions hurt you. This lack of accountability makes it nearly impossible to build a foundation of trust or mutual respect. If you notice this pattern in someone you care about, it's important to take a step back and evaluate whether the relationship is truly serving you. Are you always the one adjusting your plans or expectations to accommodate their inconsistency? If so, it's time to set boundaries and distance yourself from the relationship. You deserve to be surrounded by people who respect you enough to keep their word. Relationships are built on trust, and if someone repeatedly shows that they can't be relied upon, it's a sign that they don't value you as much as you deserve. Protect your peace by distancing yourself from those who don't honor their commitments, and seek out relationships where trust and respect are mutual. Sign 8. They repeat the same worries without making changes. We all have challenges and worries in life, and it's normal to seek comfort and advice from those we trust. However, there is a difference between sharing your concerns with a friend and repeatedly bringing up the same issues without ever taking steps to improve the situation. If someone in your life constantly discusses the same problems without making any effort to change, it can be incredibly draining and frustrating. Toxic individuals often get stuck in a loop of worry. They talk endlessly about the same difficulties in their lives, whether it's their job, relationships, finances, or personal struggles, but they never seem to take any real action to solve these problems. Instead, they keep repeating the same complaints, expecting you to provide sympathy and emotional support without offering anything in return. What makes this behavior particularly harmful is that it traps you in their cycle of negativity. Every time you interact with them, they pull you back into their unresolved issues, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted. You might offer advice, suggest solutions, or try to help them, but they always find an excuse not to take action. Over time, this dynamic becomes one-sided, where you are constantly giving support, but they are not making any effort to improve their situation. This constant repetition of worries can also begin to affect your own emotional health. Being around someone who refuses to change, despite talking about their problems all the time, can make you feel stuck as well. You may start to feel as though your time and energy are being wasted, as your efforts to help them never lead to any real progress. It's important to recognize that while it's okay to support someone during tough times, you are not responsible for carrying the emotional burden of their unresolved issues, especially if they are unwilling to take steps to improve their life. It's one thing to listen to someone's concerns and provide encouragement. It's another to be their constant sounding board for the same problems over and over again. Distancing yourself from someone who refuses to make changes is not about abandoning them. It's about protecting your own emotional well-being. You can only offer so much advice and support before it becomes clear that the other person is not interested in changing their circumstances. At that point, it's important to step back and set boundaries for your own peace of mind. Surround yourself with people who are willing to grow, take responsibility for their own lives, and make positive changes. While it's natural to have worries, healthy relationships involve mutual support and progress, not endless cycles of negativity. You deserve to be in relationships where both parties are committed to growth, rather than remaining stuck in the same patterns of frustration. By distancing yourself from those who repeat the same worries without taking action, you allow yourself to focus on relationships that encourage positive change and personal development. This creates space for healthier, more fulfilling connections that contribute to your overall well-being. Sign 9. They constantly boast about themselves. We all like to share our successes and achievements with friends and family. It's a normal and healthy part of relationships to celebrate each other's accomplishments. However, when someone in your life constantly boasts about themselves and dominates every conversation with stories of their greatness, it can quickly become toxic. This kind of behavior often leaves little room for mutual connection and makes the relationship feel one-sided. Toxic individuals who constantly boast are not interested in a genuine exchange of experiences or emotions. Instead, they seek validation and attention by endlessly talking about themselves, whether it's about their job, their possessions, or their personal achievements. These people often monopolize conversations, leaving no space for you to share your thoughts, experiences, or successes. The relationship becomes more about feeding their ego than fostering a meaningful, balanced connection. Over time, this behavior can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment. You may find yourself becoming more of an audience than an equal participant in the relationship, forced to listen to their self-aggrandizing stories without getting the same opportunity to share your own experiences. What's worse, toxic individuals who boast excessively often downplay or dismiss the accomplishments of others, making you feel undervalued in the process. Another common trait of people who constantly boast is that they tend to live in the past. They often talk about their past successes, whether it's an old job, a relationship, or some achievement that no longer holds relevance. This focus on the past can prevent the relationship from evolving, as they remain fixated on past glories rather than appreciating the present or building new experiences together. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, where both people are valued for who they are, not just for their accomplishments. If you find yourself in a relationship where someone constantly talks about themselves and never seems interested in your life, it's a clear sign of imbalance. This kind of one-sided dynamic can drain your energy and leave you feeling unappreciated. It's important to recognize that true relationships involve both giving and receiving. Both parties should feel heard, appreciated, and valued. If someone in your life is only interested in using you as an audience for their self-promotion, it's time to reconsider whether that relationship is worth maintaining. Distancing yourself from someone who constantly boasts isn't about jealousy or envy. It's about protecting your emotional well-being and ensuring that your relationships are balanced. You deserve to be around people who celebrate your successes as much as you celebrate theirs, and who value you for who you are, not just for what you can offer them. By stepping back from these kinds of toxic relationships, you create space for more genuine, fulfilling connections that are based on mutual respect and shared experiences. Surround yourself with people who appreciate you, not just those who seek validation from you. Distance yourself for peace and growth. Distancing yourself from toxic relationships is never an easy decision, but it is often the most necessary one for your personal peace and growth. The signs we've discussed in this video, whether it's someone who disrespects your emotions, thrives on drama, takes advantage of you financially, forces their beliefs on you, drains your energy, constantly complains, breaks promises, repeats the same worries without change, or boasts about themselves, are all indicators that the relationship has become harmful to your well-being. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards reclaiming your peace. Toxic relationships, whether with family, friends, or partners, can drain your mental and emotional energy. Over time, they can erode your self-worth and diminish your happiness. By acknowledging when a relationship has become toxic, you empower yourself to make the tough but necessary decision to distance yourself. It's important to remember that distancing yourself from someone doesn't mean you don't care about them. In fact, it's an act of self-care. Protecting your peace and well-being is your responsibility. And sometimes that means creating space between yourself and those who bring negativity or harm into your life. This decision isn't about abandoning people lightly, but about prioritizing your mental and emotional health. When you step away from toxic relationships, you create room for new positive connections that nurture your growth. Surrounding yourself with people who respect, support, and uplift you is essential for a fulfilling life. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, empathy, and emotional balance. When you let go of those who don't offer these qualities, you open the door to healthier, more meaningful relationships. As you reflect on the relationships in your life, ask yourself, are the people around me contributing to my happiness, or are they causing me more stress and pain? Are they helping me grow, or are they holding me back? These are important questions that can help guide you toward making the right decisions for your peace and well-being. It's also crucial to recognize that distancing yourself doesn't have to be a dramatic or confrontational process. You can take gradual steps to create boundaries, reduce contact, and prioritize your needs without cutting people off abruptly. It's about making intentional choices that protect your peace and allow you to live a more balanced, happy life. By letting go of toxic relationships, you not only protect your emotional well-being, but you also make space for personal growth. You free yourself from the weight of emotional burdens that were never yours to carry. This decision empowers you to focus on yourself, your goals, and the relationships that truly matter. It's a way of saying, I deserve better, and taking control of your own happiness. In the end, protecting your peace is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Life is too short to spend it surrounded by people who drain your energy, create conflict, or make you feel unworthy. By distancing yourself from toxic individuals, you give yourself the freedom to live authentically, peacefully, and with a sense of purpose. So, if you've recognized any of the signs we've discussed in this video, take a moment to reflect on how these relationships are impacting your life. Is it time to step back and protect your peace? Only you can make that decision, but remember that you are worthy of relationships that uplift and support you, not ones that bring you down. Thank you for watching, and we hope this video has helped you understand the importance of prioritizing your emotional health. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who might need it, and leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content that helps you live a happier and more peaceful life. If you found value in the content of this video, Please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can continue receiving valuable content designed to help you protect your peace and well-being. We're committed to bringing you more tips and strategies to improve your emotional and mental health, so stay tuned for more helpful content. And if you have any thoughts or questions about today's video, feel free to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.